Hey guys, welcome back to Balls Fan TV, and today we're doing a match preview for the Dublin Derby, Balls against Rovers tomorrow at Dalymount Park. Quarter day kickoff, huge game. I think even bigger given how we've started and how Rovers have started as well. Look at the table. We're top 10 points behind them. That they're sixth, and it's not something that I think a lot of people would have thought come the first 7 games. That we'd be ahead of Rovers by that big of a distance. I think a lot of people would have thought it'd be the other way around. I think even a lot of Balls fans would have thought that as well. That come April we wouldn't be top of the league, and that maybe it would be someone else like Rovers. But look, we've surprised ourselves in a way. We're top of the league. We got another brilliant win last week away in Sligo. 1-0, a game where we didn't play particularly brilliantly in an attacking sense. It wasn't a kind of game where we went there and we dominated, but we showed really good courage in defence. We were very solid, and I think we deserved the win overall. Um, and I think it might have to be a sort of similar performance in this game, maybe just because it's a Dublin Derby, it's tight, it's tense. We've seen these sort of games before where it's normally the team that wants it more that wins the game. And look, I think that'll have to be the way we have to play tomorrow if we want to win the game. Look, these sort of games, with sort of think form goes out the window. At the end of the day, Rovers are sixth in the table. They got a good win last week against Dundalk, but still on their day, they're a really good side. Some very good players, players that have caused us trouble in the past, like Gaffney. Jack Burns always a threat when he's on it. Graham Burke, Johnny Kenny, some very good quality players in that team that, we're up there with the very best in the league. So, it's by no means is it going to be an easy game, but, that's what I'm saying. We have to show a lot of courage, a lot of fight, a lot of passion to try and get the win. Look, I'm not trying to say that we haven't got the kind of quality that they have. Of course, there's got some really good players that will cause Rovers problems. Ali Kill has been flying this season. Afalabi's a real handful up front. The defence has been solid. Casper and Novak at the back, they've been like a brick wall lately. It'll be a tough game for Rovers as well, but I think it is the sort of game where like I said, form goes out the window. It all depends on who wants it more, and I think it is going to be a battle. It is going to be a cagey game. You know, there'll be probably very few chances. It'll be one of those sort of games where maybe a team might nick it 1-0 or it'll be a draw. But we'll get on to predictions a little bit later. We'll talk more about the game. Um, the game's on TV as well, which is good. Virgin Media have done really good coverage of it so far. Interviewing players. Doing. I think on Ireland AM this morning, they were interviewing Graham Gartland and Pat Fenton at Daily Mount. Just really good work put in by Virgin Media to try and promote the game. A huge game. Given the time it deserves. And look, I know a lot of people criticised RTE about, RTE would never do that kind of work, but I think we just have to appreciate what Virgin have done, and hopefully they'll continue to show games in the future. Obviously it'll all depend on how many people watch it, but hopefully it'll get good viewing figures, and they'll look forward to maybe showing more games in the future. But hopefully it's not the curse of that. It'll be a drab kind of game, but you know, you never know. It is probably going to be a bit of a tight one. It won't be very free flowing, but look, you never know. We've seen stranger things happen in the past. These sort of games. Now we've seen games where it's been tense and tight, and maybe it's ended 1-1 and just late goals. But then we've seen games like the 3-1 in Daily Mail a few years back, where all the goals were in the first half, and you sometimes get a mad one. But I see this one being quite tight. Obviously, Liam Burr is out injured. I don't know, maybe he has too many splinters in his arse from sitting on the bench. But yeah, look, he probably wouldn't have played anyway if he was available. He hasn't really got a kick for Rovers. But look, that's in the past now. We'll have to just focus on ourselves. But yeah, I'm not sure heading into this game. It's obviously there's a very kind of bullish feeling around the place at the minute. We're top of the league. We've won what, 6 out of 7 so far. That's a really really good return. It, it's something that we didn't expect come this stage of the season. But look. if we want to keep going, we just got to keep playing the way we're playing. A lot of people are sort of expecting us to drop off soon, but I've seen no sign that we are going to drop off anytime soon. The performance has been so good. You know, not just in the attacking sense of some of the games, but in a defensive sense as well. We've been solid. Particularly up in Sligo, we had the battle for that win. Um, excuse me, sorry, it was quite a it was quite a tense game. It was quite it was a battle. And we went there and we battled and we won the game. But I think if we can just try and keep it tight, getting Rovers faces, get in early, getting to your seats early, try and make it a cauldron of hate, I suppose, just not just for Rovers, but try and get behind the lads as well. Go try and make as much noise as possible because we've seen it in the past. The fans can make a real difference in these sort of games. Um, and hopefully that can be our 12 man, I suppose. Against my predicted team now anyway, I think it'll be Talbot in goal. I'll probably play Grant Horton at right back. I know Jay Ben did quite well against Sligo, but maybe just for the kind of player Grant Horton is, he's quite defensively solid. Um, I think Jay Ben is more of an attacking kind of right back, whereas as Horton would be more of a kind of a sound defensive, solid kind of option to put our right back. So I'd probably play Horton at right back. Two centre halves be Casper and Novak, and Paddy Kirk at left back. Midfield is an interesting one. I don't think James Clark played particularly well against Sligo. We don't know about Jordan Flores. He wasn't in the squad against Sligo. I think that probably means he's injured. He got injured in the warm up against UCD before the break. So I'm not sure about his fitness. He might be back. We'll have to just wait and see. But I'll probably go with McDonald, McManus, and then have sort of Akintunde in the 10. But we can switch with Q. We'll get onto the front three. But I think that's probably the best midfield we can pick right now. I know Bucko, I think, is injured. He'll be a huge miss for his experience in these sort of games. But hopefully he can play a bit of a role anyway on the sideline and in the dressing room. Getting the lads hyped up. But I think I know a lot of people would probably say is McMahon is kind of ready for these kind of hard kind of battling kind of Dublin derbies, but I think he's more than capable. We've seen so far this season. In tough games, he's been really really good on the ball, works hard. I think he's definitely been one of our standout players this season, and he's for such a young lad, he's looked so calm and composed on the ball. Um, so I think he's more than ready to be thrown in from the start. McDonald's done really well too. I'd probably, as I said, we'll get onto the front three, but I'd probably have Akintunde in that kind of 10 role, switching McHugh, who I'd put on the right. I'd have Apolabi in front, and I'd actually play Dylan Connolly on the left. I know he came back from suspension against Sligo. He came off the bench, but I think his pace and his trick, his trickery, his sort of directness. I think he could be a real threat for Rovers, to get at their defence and to cause some problems. So yeah, that's the team I'd go for anyway. Um, Look, I'd obviously love to. I think I probably will go for a Bows win in this one. I know I'm going to be. I'm going to stick my neck out there, stick my neck on the line, and go for a 1-0 Bows win. I think. Look, these games are so hard to call. Normally, it could really go either way. Rovers will be looking to kind of, push on now after that win against Dundalk. We'll just be looking to continue to do what we're doing. You know, it's a Dublin derby, anything can happen. But the fact that we're at Daily Mount, I'm sure the fans will be well up for this one. Make it horrible for Rovers. Let's get behind. Our lads, let's just guide them to 3 points and hopefully we can stay at the top of the league after that. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment down below what you're thinking heading into this game, your score predictions, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.